I'm Eric Hayden.
I'm Nick Mason.
And this is Neon Static. This is the first game of our coverage of the East Coast Nationals for 2024. And we have quite a lineup for you. This is the top cut. We didn't get any of the Swiss rounds covered, but we do have recordings from the top cut. And here we are. You can see round one's pairings. This is the third game down here in this series. Sokka versus analyzechris. Sokka, the two-time reigning world champion of Netrunner, playing Lat against analyzechris on Haas Byroid's PD. It's going to be quite a game. Nick, what do you think?
It's just fundamentals versus fundamentals, right? I mean, Lat is just good stuff shaper, right? And PD is just the most fair.
The most fair, but also the fastest and like most consistent ID that is really out there on the corp side, I think, right now.
For sure. But like it plays like Netrunner. You know what I mean?
It is extremely Netrunner. Like, yeah.
I'm going to leave this agenda cooking for a turn, and then I'm going to score it. I'm just going to do it a little bit faster and more efficiently because, HB.
Right. And everyone who's watching is obviously tuning in to hear us tear apart the, Sokka and Chris's lines to show them obviously what they did wrong. That's not actually going to happen here.
It is.
We're gonna be enjoying the show of two very skilled players here. Chris starting things off very quickly with a predictive planogram to draw 3 cards, and then a red level clearance to draw 2, and I believe gain a collect back.
Interesting. So then greasing the palm. So this is a third
of 4 clicks.
Yeah.
Right. It's not mirror morph, so we're not getting extra clicks back here, but. A 4th click now because of the red level clearance click back. Another greasing the palm.
Holy cow.
Yeah, a really like draw up, find the gas, jam. A card. We'll see what gets put down with the second greasing, but up on 6 credits, a second ice in front of R&D. I think icing R&D is obviously something that Chris is going to want to do throughout this game because of cards like Trick Shot being in the meta. Sokka starting things off with the Dirty Laundry on HQ just to get some money up after dropping Anacam.
And some draw, not bad. So both players just off with a little bit of gas here.
Right, seeing a Brawn.
Yep.
We have a little bit of
info.
Camera shake throughout this matchup. I believe after a couple of rounds that did get addressed. But you'll just have to bear with us. Anacam triggering off of the Dirty Laundry.
Mm-hmm.
Huge thank you to Kevin H. and Mondi and Kato who helped get these games recorded. We were not actually able to make it back for the second day of East Coast Nats for the top cut. So this is all thanks to them that we got this footage and we were able to edit it together.
Yeah. So that was interesting. Sokka just very smoothly drew up to 5. Discarded the extra Anacam and then drew up to 6 drew up to 6, discarded the Anacam, drew up to 6 again because of Lat's ability. Right. Turns out Lat's pretty good. Yeah,
Sokka's going to fire Lat probably several times this game, proving the ID not to be blank.
It's true.
I really enjoy the mini game that Lat provides.
Yeah.
More ice for Chris and jamming something in that remote. Chris is going to be tracking his hand size with a green D6 up in the upper right corners. Yeah,
I was going to ask about that. Yeah,
which is going to help us for tracking Lat draw. Basically, it's for Sokka's benefit. I think we saw a Sure Gamble and a Lat draw off of the Sure Gamble.
Anacam draw, but yep.
Yep. I'm sorry. Anacam, Lat,
and now we got
cards
a thinker,
are just getting. Cards are just getting drawn all over the place.
It's true. So I see a Trick Shot. No breakers in hand that I can see, although that 4th card might be one.
There was an SMC in hand, so there's all breakers in hand.
Got it. Yep. And the Trick Shot would be a decent one to use it on. You get to threaten 2 servers with whatever's in that remote. Nope. Just more gambling.
Sure Gamble, and then a DJ Fenris here getting a Sable.
Sable. Interesting. And that's the SMC that just went down?
That's right.
Got it.
Sable is a fantastic way, I think, to usually you see DJ Fenderson, you immediately see Steve. And here, Sokka's going to be able to like keep tempo, just keeping up a little bit with a fifth click on several turns, hopefully up against PD while pressuring centrals and all that. Double seamless from analyzechris to score out an Ikawa.
Wow. What, turn 3 with the Ikawa?
I believe it's turn 3, yeah.
And then
PD's going to fire.
Did he miss the... Okay, there we go.
Yeah. So I have gone through and pre-edited this video. I did not find a single gameplay mistake in the edit. These two players are phenomenal at their triggers.
All right. And then we have the unbalanced.
Exactly.
Yep.
Chris actually suggests not using the dice.
Yep. No, that is correct. It's slightly favored towards archives, I believe.
Yeah, hypothetically.
Yeah.
Just installing and popping a stone chip chart room just to draw 2, because in this matchup, Sokka really has no use for the stone chips as far as protection's concerned, I don't think.
Right.
And both players have seen open deck lists. Sokka knows there's no threat here of damage from Chris. Running archives just for the dirty laundry money.
You'd be really surprised to see too much damage coming out of PD to begin with, but
exactly. So for those tracking credits on Sokka's side, I believe the purple credits are 3 credits, and then the orange are singles. So that is 13 credits, I think, on the upper side of Sokka's board. Dropping a fermenter, which is an interesting splash. I think something relatively new in the lat list.
Yeah, that's interesting. So even with the Anakim, he opted for more, I guess, the like program-based credit gain. It's interesting. I guess is the deck also running like simul chips and things like that? That could make some sense as far as
I think there's
just
at least 1 or 2 simul chips in this deck.
Yeah.
Chris on 4 credits here, jamming something in the remote, like I think draw jam, 5 cards in hand. See the Sable mark on HQ. I mean, on 16 credits here, the only runs that we've really seen out of Sokka so far, and again, it's like, I think turn 4, have been
dirty laundries, right?
Yeah, dirty laundries for economic gain and a peak that's free. No ice pushing, no pressure on Chris so far economically.
But at the same time, Chris is only on 4 credits right now?
4 credits, yeah. That early Ikawa score, it hurts. It's good to get that out of the way. It's part of your game plan to do 1 3-pointer and then score 2 2-pointers and have the game be over at that point. But it is usually the card that you're trying to cross the finish line with.
Right. But you would prefer to hold it, especially because it is somewhat self-defending.
Right.
Okay.
So here we see 2 SMCs.
And the
fermenter
goes down.
Right. So full MU rig right now. A good time to get both of the SMCs down before you have other programs taking up space, I think. And then, trick shotting into R&D.
And 4
hypothetically afterwards going to check that remote.
4 credits for Chris is a rough place to be because I don't know what ice is down, but there's not a ton that you can res here that's like super impactful. There's Gatekeeper. I mean, Drafter. Gatekeeper, I think, would be more impactful, though, because obviously the SMCs are able to just tutor up whatever Sokka needs. So,
just no res from Chris here. Trashing a Brashida.
Yep.
And then 6 credits on that trick shot. And, you kind of assume that you want to use those credits to fuel the SMCs so that you can install some threats. But Chris just choosing not to res any of the ice on the board here, or maybe not able to with 4 credits.
So do you just spend the money off the trick shot then? I mean, you have to now, right? Because you don't have another paid ability window before the end of the run, at which point all those credits are gone. So
yes.
You just pop it and go get something. Okay.
Right. The question is, what breaker do you think is the most useful here? A fractor or a decoder are probably what you're looking for against a PD list. I mean, I don't know. Face checking a drafter hurts.
I mean, if you just trash a Rashid off the top, yeah, I was going to say that the drafter would be pretty rough. But at the same time, Chris hasn't rezzed anything yet, so. Ooh.
Okay, it was just a virus. Yeah.
Purge complete. Love it.
Thanks. I have fun.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have the Unity installed, and now the trick shot's finally being discarded, and the Anacam draws a card.
Unity as a first install is interesting just because of, it doesn't have buddies. A ton of strength. Exactly.
Right. It's like a first install echelon.
Yeah. Just that's an interesting starting point for the rig.
Yeah.
Oh, speak of the devil.
Yep, we're seeing the Gatekeeper res. That is expensive for this Unity to break.
It's what, 5?
It's 6 strength.
5 and 2. 5, 6, 7. Ooh.
7, I believe. Because it's 6 strength and it's 4, 5. Yeah, 6, 7.
Yep.
Which is Sokka's on 15 credits. Could afford this, but
thinking about popping the SMC, which would make it a little more efficient to break through this, but not hugely more efficient once you factor in the 2 credits for the SMC,
Right. Yeah, there'd be a lot. There'd be a fair amount of spending here. Always interesting to get a peek inside of the mind of very good players. Like, what would I be doing here? Okay, and Sokka's going to pop the SMC.
Does he have a cupulation in hand?
Sokka does run a singleton copy of Cupulation in this lat deck.
That's interesting. So then this cuts the cost. So he pumps what? Instead of pumping 5 times, he pumps 3 times? So net
base
saved,
2, it's pumps 4
credit.
Finding a Seamless, which is always the card that you see in PD.
Mm-hmm. Wait, he pumps 4 times. Hang on. So it gets +2. Right? It needs to get up to 6. So you pump it 3 times. It goes up to 7 strength, and then it can interact, right? So
is it not +1 for 1? Okay.
Unity is +X, where X is the number of installed dice breakers.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, Echelon's the one that has +1 strength per installed dice breaker. Right. So, yep.
So Sokka's got a medium-sized rig brewing here.
Some YDL
on 6, and that's it from Chris's turn. Just getting some money back up here.
Yep.
Mark again is HQ. That Gatekeeper is a lot less threatening, so that's a pretty good mark to hit.
Mm-hmm.
Diesel for 4. Thanks to Anacam.
2 trick shots.
We do see the Cupulation in hand. Yeah, Overclock, Telework Contract.
Another sure gamble.
What is the one between the sure gamble and the Telework there?
I don't know. Looks like an FFG card. Can't say for sure.
It's a 1 costs something.
Yeah.
Oh, it's another propeller.
Oh, okay.
I have to imagine we're going to see a run on HQ this turn, just because you get your click back,
and it's
I think
2
it's
credits,
two to break through. Yeah.
Yep.
I'm not sure. Like a singleton, just checking after two draws, draw, and then YDL. There's a chance that you just snipe something there.
Right.
Install and click a telework. Install. There's that second copy of Propeller. Getting rid of a Parisha and a Cupulation. Okay, pass turn. No, not running.
Yeah, I mean, talk about the comparison of what you would have done versus what Sokka did.
Yeah.
I definitely would have just run archive or installed cupulation, run archives, and then swept the hand a bit, because that gatekeeper res on HQ made me think that, all right, there must be some agendas here. And then Chris just drew up and played the YDL.
Right. Now, after another, I think a mandatory draw, I think there was one agenda in hand there.
Right.
Drew into another, I see, off-world and a Midnight 3 Arcology. Chris is on the popular version of PD right now that's running Midnight 3 Arcologies. Big deal, usually, to score out that 5-3 and YDLs. So just drawing up a ton of cards in hand and winning, kind of surprise winning off of a lot of money. So we'll want to watch Chris's credits throughout this game to see if he approaches 17 credits at any point in time. It's probably giving Sokka warning signs that the big deal is coming, which is an operation that is a rare one that can be trashed from hand if you can find it in the sea of probably at that point, 9 to 11 cards in hand.
Yeah, well, I mean, between that and just PD being able to sit on 6 naturally,
Right.
it just makes the odds of finding it pretty hard unless you are running some sort of hand sweep, which Sokka, I'm assuming, is on some number of burners. So that can help reduce the hand size, but not,
There was a YDL for
guaranteed.
7 credits, and then getting a little bit more things shored up on R&D, HQ. Marks on HQ again. That fermenter only now on, representing 4 credits. Sure, gamble to draw a card.
That's interesting. The install on HQ that didn't trash the gatekeeper.
Yeah, I mean, the gatekeeper still represents 2 credits to break.
Right, but, the economic position, I don't know, Chris to me feels like he's in a relatively limited economic position, because you have to assume that some of this ice that's down is like brawn, even like a drafter magnet, right? He only has 10 credits here and no way to really defend that remote to be able to score an off-world office or something like that. So yeah, it seems like it would be difficult to get up to the high credit totals that you would need to really start rezzing a ton of defensive ice. And we've already seen 2 YDLs. I don't know what else the deck has for large econ.
Yeah, I think it's got tranquilities and YDLs. I don't even think it's on a sure gamble. We saw another stone ship pop from Sokka just to draw.
Yep.
2 trick shots, diesel. Okay, Chris here with a 3rd YDL. And this is going to be at least for 7. 5, 6, just for 6, I suppose. And you notice that Chris is creeping here, 14 credits.
Yep.
Just
closer.
Making money. Yeah. Install and click for credit. 15 credits. That's within range of a big deal, right? Credit, big deal would get you there. It's not going to win you the game, and you'll be on 0 credits. But
well, I mean, you assume it's an off-world office or something, so you're back at 7, right? There's definitely things there, but yeah, the timing of it would be extremely weird. I feel like, especially at this point where Sokka is on 0 points, it might be worthwhile to just feed him a couple agendas while getting your credit stockpile built up. And, maybe res your brawn, try to drain out those propellers, that kind of thing.
Right.
Right now with no turbine out, the propeller does take 3 power counters to break each brawn. So you can drain those out relatively fast and then, see about just trying to drain those resources down while you have a couple of agendas cooking.
Right. I don't know that this list is even on turbine. I'm not positive that it is. Feels like a flex playing without turbine in this meta.
Yeah, there is a lot of but we see the simul chip in hand.
Yep.
So
simul chip overclock on the remote, checking this remote. on 14 credits to Chris's 15.
15. Okay. I was going to say, I think it's 14 as well.
No res in the first ice.
Perfectly matched. Thinking about the second one.
Viewers of our channel might recognize Chris from his top cut appearance on our coverage of NAN PC Boston at the same store. Chris is a player from the New York meta who is definitely very consistently placing at high tables.
All right, so it's just a spin, and then we pop to put some YDLs back in. Yeah. All right.
Nice. You called it. Look at you.
Well, I mean, with the number of cards, he's now up to what, 8 in hand? He'll draw up to 9. That's a pretty good YDL.
Okay, that was an Anacam draw off of the overclock. So we've seen a Mavirus bait and a spin bait from Chris. And yet not resing ice to, really like rake Sokka through any coals there. It did consume one trick shot though. That's notable, and an overclock.
Right.
Getting a revolver down. This is definitely a shaper deck consisting a lot of disposable programs. The propeller and the revolver, very similar in that they have a certain number of charges on them, and then when they're out, they're out. So the symbol chips are very useful.
For sure. Yeah, no, when he installed the simul chip at first, I was thinking, okay, this is like a cupulation play or something along those lines. But no, it was just, it's just a good thing to have on the board generally. You can threaten a whole lot of things with it between that and SMC in the bin.
Right.
You pull out your clot if you have one, although I'd be really surprised if Chris went for too much fast advance beyond the the
big deal, right? That's
right. Sure. But,
that's a reason to run clot in itself.
That's fair.
I actually was considering, we played on the first day of this, considering that players might be on clot because at the time, I believe this PD deck or I don't know if this exact deck, but a very similar one, if not this exact deck, was decklist of the week leading up to the tournament. So I assumed that a fair amount of people were going to be on this, and clot is useful against it, especially at a shaper, where usually you can summon it very quickly.
Definitely, yeah. I definitely ran into a little bit of it myself, which caused some issues. But no install
of clot
audacity.
Or this PD deck.
No, clot in particular.
Yeah, a third ice on the remote.
I forget what deck it was out of, but oh no, actually it was our cameraman Kevin's RE deck.
So Chris on 6 cards in hand, which with stone shots is possible to hit the lat draw on, but it's getting more difficult. Sokka trick shotting as soon as the mark was rolled R&D.
Yep, just instantly ripping that. And we have 3 ice on this remote. That is gonna be pricey to break into.
Yeah. The fermenter has been cooking for a while. It's got 4 counters on it, so that's 8 credits. Off the top there, we got an off-world rip.
Rip 1.
And a Rashida
Kill
trash.
the Rashida. Oh, yeah. You'll love to see it. Tatsu Bola. All right, some more
second
gas.
Ice res of the game, I'm sorry.
Looks like that's being swapped with an ablative, which ablative's threat 3, correct?
Ooh, we saw, I think that's an innermost brawn. And I missed it. You could sort of see what the second ice there was, but I missed it. Another spin. So Chris really favoring this just JAMA bait card in this remote. That's 2 trick shots down at this point.
Is that just, you think he just knows that he can't defend it? But I don't know. Doesn't that feel like an opportunity to get some of your ice resed and then rebuild a bit and get some ice resed and rebuild? Like, I don't know. I guess you're giving away that info if you do it that way, though.
Yeah, it's an interesting. I haven't considered playing PD where you're sort of in saver mode and not like resing too much ice and just trying to get a lot of credits here. And I think I just can't help but feel like big deal's a big part of that. A big motivator for keeping a high credit count.
Oh, definitely.
Also, with these cards that don't really matter in the remote, why pay to defend them? Really, besides just draining Sokka's credits.
Yeah, and just also not, being able to, when you do jam an agenda there, you don't have to also have a ton of money saved up.
Yeah.
To then be able to res all that ice that you've been adding throughout the course of the game. We're on 9 cards now.
Yeah.
And
wait, 9
in hand.
That's not
9?
possible.
He was on 6, drew 2 from the spin. All right. Well, all right. Numbers.
Unless I can't quite tell. There's a second dice up there. There's a 6 and a second one. I'm not sure how we got there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
3,
7,
but maybe
8, 9. You're right. It's 9.
Well, but it's only 9 after the mandatory draw, so I was wrong.
Okay.
I remain incorrect.
It was an off-turn spin, and then
there's the YDL.
Ooh.
So that's
and greasing the palm.
Greasing. Install, gain 2 credits. That's 17.
That's the magic number.
Oh, that's the big deal right to the top of the hand.
There's a big deal.
Going
to 0 credits.
But that's got to be off-world off.
Is it an off-world or is it a midnight 3? It's a midnight 3.
Oh, wow. Oh, he still has the YDL in hand. Click YDL is a pretty good one next turn.
So draws 3 off the YDL. Don't discard this turn.
Yep.
And then next turn, So no, there will be no ice reses this turn, but next turn the bounce back is going to be pretty ferocious.
Right. So what are you afraid of here? Burner, maybe? I mean, burner would be terrible.
I don't know. Burner would be annoying, but there's a lot of cards in hand.
It's fair.
1, 2,
I'm just thinking
3,
about getting the
4,
countdown,
5, 6, 7.
And then
I see. That was
predicted back into hand from the score. Oh,
yes, very good. So go back from 0.
Well, and 2, you can
draw 3 and then YDL.
Or no, I don't think you can because you need to click twice for credits. But you can draw predictive for 3 credits and then YDL.
Right. Yeah, I think the predictive lets you YDL, right? And then still have a click left for something.
Yep.
Seeing a red level clearance off the top of the deck there.
Interesting.
11 cards in hand.
Whew.
The players at the table joking. Sokka just asked, are you really on 11? And Chris said, are you really trying to do the lat math right now?
How many stone ships do I need to pop right now?
Yeah. I don't think that Sokka was. Just trying to figure out odds of where the agendas are. It's good to know.
I'm going to bet the agendas are in hand. There's at least some.
There's at least some agendas in hand for sure. I mean, like statistically speaking, with 11 cards in hand, yes.
Got to be a couple, but also statistically speaking, you'll never see them.
It is, yeah. It's a slot machine for sure. Just under 11 minutes left in round, and both players definitely take their time in moments where they know that it's important to think things through. They play fast when the decisions are easy to make for them, but then when they have a strong or an important decision to make, you'll see everything kind of slow down for a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 cards in hand, just running HQ.
Single access.
Single access.
Oh my God.
Just rips it off world.
Oh my God.
The luck on that run is obscene.
That's insane.
Yeah, pretty good. dropping a Hannah,
All right.
which like kind of screams deep dive, I think, usually. What is the alt? There's a
I don't know what that was.
It's a pretty funny looking alt in hand there.
Kinda
Here
like a
is
whale or
predictive for
something?
3.
Yep, predictive for 3 credits. You could click to draw, but you're going to end up discarding a bunch. I don't know if it's worth it.
So
Oh,
this
you
is
know
a
what you could do,
YDL
actually? You
for
could
10?
You could red level clearance to draw cards. Yeah,
Ooh,
gain the
red
click
level,
back. You still have
draw
2.
2.
Yep.
Very good. Get
All
the click
right.
back. And YDL
There we go.
for plus 10 credits.
Whew.
That's 2 gambles.
Wow, it's more than
better
that,
than two- better
right?
than 2
I was going to
gambles.
say, yeah. So now he's got,
There's
1 click left here? And
Yeah, 1 clip remaining.
I
See a
mean,
tranquility on the end there.
yeah.
2 agendas in the middle there. I
Yeah.
think that was the tranquility jam.
I think it was, yeah. So now we get to see the hand pruning as it goes back down to 5 or 6, excuse me.
No, it's the Midnight 3 makes it higher. How much does a Midnight 3 increase the ham size? I can never remember.
I don't think it increases it. You draw and you don't
Oh, it's just that-
discard. It's that one turn. Yeah, it's draw 3 cards and skip your discard step.
I'm thinking of the other, the 3-1. The
Yep. Super conducting hub, I believe.
That's right.
Yep.
That's right.
That's a +2, but
Yeah,
Also
Midnight
a
3. Yeah,
3-1,
burst.
which-
Don't discard. Next turn, hopefully draw more, and then YDL for billion credits.
we have a pinhole here. So that's interesting. I mean, Sokka's very ahead on credits and everything, and Chris has been very reluctant to res any of that ice.
Archives was the mark as well.
There you go.
I believe. So it was a free.
Got it. Yep. No, that makes a lot more sense.
Trick shot. Really, trick shot. Nothing in the remote.
Well, I mean,
Wild.
it's kind of overclock, right? Oh, and then we're going to get cupulation. There you go. See a tranquility.
Trashing with the money on trick shot there, and then
Hosting
grabbing a
gatekeeper.
gatekeeper with the cupulation. And that's going to represent, I think it's for 1 or 2 credits and trashing that card, or trashing the cupulation. You get to see +2 cards on an HQ run.
Yeah, pay 1 and trash this program to access 2 additional. So
Okay. Yeah, 1 credit and trash.
interesting.
And we see it accessing 3 cards off of quite a few. Seeing another big deal, trashing it for 3 credits.
Yep, that seems good.
That was
Yeah.
going to be a way for Chris to close the game out for sure. And look, it's
steals
another
the
agenda.
arcology. All right, we got
And then
one
the
more
third
now.
card here. And that's game.
That's the game. Wow. Man, that off-world office rip off the 11
Yeah.
card hand. Jeez.
Yeah. That was pretty great. Sokka just kind of playing things patiently, building with that board state. You can see a deep dive in hand there. So the Hannah was prepped for it.
Yep. And just
so
playing
that-
with a ton of clicks here. I mean, between Hannah, Sable, just a ton of flexibility on each turn.
Yeah, that was going to be a hard game for Chris to claw back from. So,
For sure.
hey, this has been a blast for us to start our coverage of. I do want to shout out that the entire series is not going to be the series of this gameplay. It's not going to be on our channel alone, but we are working with QTM to cover this channel or this tournament rather in a more timely fashion than we're normally able to. Folks from their side are doing some video editing and commentary. And the next game from the series is going to be published and done commentary by QTM on their YouTube channel. So if you want to follow along with this tournament as we go through the Top Cut coverage. There are 6 games in total. The next game is going to be released on QTM's channel. So go subscribe to them. There's going to be a link in the show notes to their channel, and look forward to that. And then shortly after that's released, then we should have our next video out. And I think we're just kind of ping pong our way through or something like that. We'll determine exactly how things go from here on out.
For sure.
But we're very excited to be getting this coverage out, hopefully before any ban lists drop, because Worlds is imminent, and that might be a thing that happens.
Yeah.
But if you have appreciated this game and on our effort in doing it, it does take us several nights to do the editing and commentary on these videos. Consider subscribing to the channel, giving us a like, or joining our Patreon, and there will be a link to that in our show notes. The folks who support the channel are displayed here on the screen, and we very much appreciate their support. And otherwise, stay tuned for the next game at QTM. And that's it. Thanks for watching.
That's it.
Say bye, Nick.
Run with your eyes closed.
Yes, do it. Okay, bye.